Hi everyone. I decided to go live because my fingers are way too big for this little phone's small little things where you have to type. So my chat is not working on my screen again. I can see it very plainly on my phone. So it's working at that end. So good morning, Alyssa. If you want to chat with me, I'm going to keep my phone handy, and I don't know what just happened. I just went to something else there. Oh, it's a commercial. It's giving me a commercial before I get to watch it live. Ooh. So anyway, we're going to be doing Yin Yoga today, and you might need a few things if you haven't already got them ready for yourself. If you have it, you're probably going to use a block. If you don't have a block, you can use a heavy, small, square shoebox, or you can use a couple of hard-covered books if you have them. Something like that has a little bit of stability that you could rest yourself on. You would also probably benefit from having a few small cushions or pillows that you could use to kind of make yourself more comfortable or support yourself in various places. And if you have it, you have a bolster like I have here, you're going to need that for sure. And always, always, always for all yoga classes, you should have a blanket. Blanket for various times you might need a little extra comfort for your knees, for your head, or at the end of the class, if you like to cover up for Shavasana, you always have your blanket handy. I also like to sit on a blanket to lift my hips up just a couple of inches higher, helps my knees to relax down. There we go again. So if you haven't got those things, go quickly, run and get them. You should also have something to drink handy. I recommend at least water, if not a cup of tea or something of that nature, because even in yin, you're going to feel a little thirsty. And if you feel thirsty, it's going to distract you. It's going to distract you from being able to focus on the practice that you're doing. Okay. I'm getting all kinds of ads coming up here, so end of that. All right, and nobody else has chatted with me, so I'm just going to ignore that for now. We're going to begin the class. Before we begin, though, I want to just remind you that there is more yoga than what is on YouTube, and this month is entirely free. It's on Zoom. And how you get to those classes is very, very easy. You just go to my website, www.northernzenyoga.com. And once you get to the website, there is a tab that says Live Yoga Classes. So click on that and you'll see in the drop down and for the class, you'll see that there is lots of links. And the links are for specific days, weekdays, Saturday, and for Wednesday evening. And what those links take you to is the classes that are scheduled for those times. So every class is a little different. We're going to be doing, though, this week, just worked out that way, a lot of yin. So this is like a yin week. So I'm just going to grab the list here to give you an idea. For example, if you're really enjoying yin yoga and you want to do more yin yoga this week, you can join me tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. on Zoom, and we'll have another yin yoga class. We're also going to be having a Saturday morning class, and that will also be on Zoom, and it will be yin yoga. So this week just worked out that way that we're having 3 yin yoga classes. The other Zoom class we have this week is on Thursday morning at 10 a.m. And by the way, the Saturday class and the Thursday class are both 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're in Central North America or in the Pacific Coast, your times might be different. If you're in Europe, it will definitely be a difference in time zones. So please check out to make sure you have the correct time before you tune in. Because the difference with Zoom than with YouTube is that you have to check in before the class begins. Once the class begins, I can't jump over to the computer and push the button and let people into the class. So I usually give about 5 minutes grace period after the time that it's supposed to start. But I also have the link open for you to join it 15 minutes before the time that the class is going to start. So you've got a good 15, 20 minutes to get in, jump in, and be part of the Zoom class before I stop letting people into the class. That's the only difference between the YouTube feed and the Zoom class feed, is that you kind of have to be on time. So if you haven't checked out all of that information that's there on my website already, please go to northernzenyoga.com and look under live yoga classes. There's even a calendar that you can print off or download into your computer so that you can double check what time and what class is being had at different days. So this past week, we had a really great time. We had a lot of people join us. Some of our most regular YouTube watchers on the live classes joined the Zoom classes. And it was a lot of fun. And the difference, too, is that not only do we have a chance to see each other, but we can chat with each other. And you can chat with other ladies from other places in the world and say hi and exchange ideas and ask questions. And I answer them, and you'll be able to see me, and I'll be able to see you. And so it's a little bit different, a little bit more like being in a yoga studio. So hopefully you'll try that out this week and join me for one of those classes. And just like I said, just go to the website, northernzenyoga.com, go to live yoga classes. The links are there, and there's more information there as well. And the calendar is there. So how are we doing? Anybody else chatting with me that I should be not ignoring? Nope. So far, so good. Good. Just going to shove that out of the way. So we're going to begin our class now. So let's just come into easy pose just for a moment, just to relax ourselves and get ourselves in the moment, in the practice. Close your eyes. And just become aware of your breath. Don't try to control it. Don't try to force anything yet. Just notice that you're breathing in and breathing out. And if you notice that your breathing in is very shallow, it's only up to here, just begin to focus on your belly and pushing your belly out just a little further on your inhales so that your lungs can open up. Let your shoulders relax. But at the same time, try to straighten up through the spine. And in Yin Yoga, we have a very particular type of breath that we use to help us to relax just a little more deeply in the practice. And that is the Ujjayi, sorry, I just said it wrong. And that is we breathe in through our nose and we exhale out through the mouth. There's really no name for it. I was just doing videos ahead of time on Ujjayi breathing, so that one was kind of stuck in my brain. So we're going to breathe in through the nose, expand out through the belly, inhaling. But as we exhale, we're going to let it go through the mouth. Still pushing the belly in and up, but letting that air just come out in a big sigh. So let's do it again. Inhale. And let it go. Notice your automatic response. You feel more relaxed every time you exhale that way. Anytime you feel anxious, you can use this breathing. But in Yin, what it helps us to do is release the stress that is building up in our body as we go deeper and deeper into the stretch. Now we hold the stretch for up to 4 minutes. In this particular class, there might be some that are a little bit shorter, but for the most part, they're going to be 4 minutes. So during that time period, you might begin to feel anxious, wondering what time is it? Is it almost over? Are we going to stop soon? Should I relax more? Should I do this? Should I do that? Instead, try to calm your mind by just taking several of those deep breaths, moan it out, groan it out, let it go, and allow yourself to stay relaxed in the moment. So we're going to begin very simply by sitting. We've been sitting for a few minutes now, just breathing, just relaxed in our easy pose, the easy pose that you have chosen. Now you're going to switch that easy pose around, and you're going to move whatever foot you had in front of the other to the back, and the one in the back to the front. So switch your legs around. Even if you had your legs way out here and your ankles were crossed this way, now you're going to cross them the other way, just to give our hips a little stretch, making sure we're evening things out. And we're just going to sit here for a moment and breathe. I'm going to grab my phone and get the timer ready for our next posture we're going to do. So just breathe here, practice your deep breathing, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. In Yin, we call it the quiet practice. And that's mostly because of the great gaps of time between one position and the next position. Finding peace and quiet within yourself. Stretch your legs out. Shake them out if your knees are feeling a little bit tight from sitting. And we're going to begin our first shape that we're going to go into by laying down on your mat. This is called Crescent pose. So what we're going to do is lay on the mat, try to put yourself roughly in the middle of your mat, and then we're going to move our head toward one corner and our feet toward the same side at the other end of our mat, so that we end up having our body in a little bit of a crescent shape. You're going to try to keep your bottom in the place where you laid down. So all you're moving is your feet over and your head over. So you're in this kind of crescent shape. It's a little harder to see when I'm laying down. I don't have a camera that can look at me from a downward view. So hopefully my explanation was good enough. I'm just going to move this out of the way. I'm going to start the timer. I'm moving the feet over to one corner, the head over to the other corner, and just let your body relax down as much as you can. You can have your arms over your head if you like. You can have them across your shoulder. But really, you're just making a little curve here in your side. So it's like a side bend. If you need your blanket or a little pillow behind your head, you could do that. Just make sure you're feeling that little bit of a stretch up your side on the side that's not curving in. Take a deep breath in, exhale through the mouth, and relax. Just let go here. You could cross your ankles if you like. Take another deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Very slowly bring yourself back to center. Stretch your legs out. Relax your arms beside your body. Just take a few breaths here. Take some of those deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And now you're going to curl to the other side. So the opposite side now you're going to move to. So if you started with your feet toward and head toward the left side, you're going to move now head and feet toward the right side of your mat, keeping your bottom in the middle. So just shift yourself over to that direction. Remember, it's just your head and your feet. So you get a big stretch up the side of your body. I'm going to start the timer. And again, if you like, you can drape your arm across your forehead. You can have it across your body, or you can just relax your shoulder back if it hurts too much to do that. Take a deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. Take another deep breath in and let it go. If you're getting too comfortable, you could try crossing your ankles if you already haven't. Take another deep breath in and let it go. Very, very slowly and gently come back into a neutral position. Stretch your legs out, or if you feel like you need to bend your legs, bend your knees, flattening your feet out. Listen to your body. It's very important that we do that we listen to the body. The body will tell us what it wants to do. A few breaths here. And then we're going to roll over onto our bellies. We're going to come into Sphinx pose now. So Sphinx pose is, I'm going to show you from the front view. Come around to here. Sphinx pose is sort of like Cobra, with the one exception. You can see where my elbows are. My elbows are in front of the chest, where in Cobra, they're in this position beside the chest. So here I'm bringing my elbows forward. My palms are down. If you can't get your elbows right in front of your chest, and they're off a little bit to the side, but you feel some tension in your shoulders, that's fine. If you have them out to the side and your shoulders are really comfortable, start to bring those elbows in toward each other. Palms facing downward. And I've got my bolster back here. You can also have the bolster so you can rest your feet on it, or a pillow, or you can have your feet flat on the mat. That's optional for you, depending on your back. Now, this is very, very, I'm going to come up a little bit. This is very, very hard on your low back. You're getting a deep curve into your back. Pushing your belly down and lifting your chest up creates that curve. Now, your back, I can't feel it. You can. So it's critically important that you get yourself into a position that is uncomfortable but not painful. And one of the ways you can change the dynamic of how much pressure you're feeling on your back is you can put a blanket under your hips, or your hips, yes, and reduce the amount of, I'm sorry, I seem to be having like this difficulty with talking today. But anyway, let's get back to it. You can put something under your hips so that your curve is not quite as deep. Or what's even better is just to move your elbows farther out away from you. So even if they're at the side, instead of being close to the body, just start shifting them away from you until you feel that arch in your back decrease. If you do any of this and it's painful, no matter what you try, just skip it. Instead, you can just lay on your mat face down and put your feet up just a little bit on a pillow so that you're just getting a very, very gentle arch in your back. So if you have a blanket or a pillow and you're having difficulty getting into the pose, just put the back of your feet onto the pillow or the blanket and lay on your belly and relax down and breathe. So let's start. I'm going to start the timer. We're going to be here 4 minutes. So I'm going to turn sideways now so you can see what sideways looks like. Again, if I wanted to, I could have my feet up to increase the arch in my back. If I wanted to remove out the elbows completely, I could have my feet up like this. Or I can move my elbows away to decrease the arch in my back. In any case, take that deep breath in and let it go. Let your belly relax. It's very important. Let your tummy sag. Let everything below the waist relax. If you find everything tightening up, just take a deep breath and let it relax again. Inhale, and let it go. Exhale. You can drop your chin to your chest, or you can have your head up. Either one is fine. Or you can just alternate, give your neck a rest. Take another deep breath in and let it go. For those that have their elbows close to their chest, I want you to move your elbows away from your body a couple of inches and relax back down again. Take a deep inhale, exhale. We're going to move our elbows away from us just a little more. And when you relax down, you should start to feel most of the bottom of your rib cage hit the floor. Take a deep breath in, exhale. Turn your palms in toward each other, elbows out, and let your head drop down onto your hands. Deep breaths here. Sending that breath right down to your back. So we're going to come up out of this posture, and we must be very careful So come back to your elbows again, bring them close to you, lift up your bum, using your arms, walk yourself back, keep coming back, keep coming back. Push yourself back as far as you can into child pose. So once you're here, then you can sit up and you can start playing around with your blocks and your blankets. It's very critical once you've been in that Sphinx pose, that you don't use your back muscles to get back up again. Using the arms, the forearms, pressing your hands into the mat is the best way to do it to help lift up the chest. A lot of weight up here in the shoulders and in the chest. So to make your low back suddenly have to work after that stretch could be injurious. So you have to be very, very careful how you get in and out of the various postures. Always be listening to your body. If you start to move in a position, out of a position, and you feel your body giving you some pain signals, you should be figuring out a different way to get yourself out of that position, even if it means rolling to your side, bring your knees up, hugging them for a few minutes before you get back up onto your knees again. So in this position, we're going to go into next is child's pose. I'd like you all to try knees toward each other, child pose. But if it's really not for you today, you can have your knees wide. If you have your knees wide, you can bring your bolster or your pile of pillows in front of you, your block. You can make up a lot of stuff here to rest on. But what I want in this particular stretch is for you to get into a position where your back is stretched out in a little bit of an arch. This is the counter pose to what we've just done. And it's very critical to have this counter pose in order to straighten back out the spine again. So if you can, knees together. If you need to, you can put your bolster, you can put your blocks, you can put your blanket rolled up under your heels to lift you up, to elevate you slightly if your knees, the compression into your knees is not good for you, if it's too painful. So you've got all your tools. Play around with them. We're going to start the timer and we're going to come into the child pose for 4 minutes. So don't be surprised if when you begin this, even if normally before you used to be able to put your head right to the floor, that there's some space there. And that was because of the last posture you were in. It'll come. So if you're just inches or something away, you can always use your fists. Take lots of deep breaths here, in through the nose and out through the mouth, inhaling, exhaling. Letting the back start to soften up again. Take a deep breath in. Exhaling through the mouth. Take another deep breath in through the nose. Let it go through the mouth. Push against your hands, come up very gently. Come onto your bottom. Stretch your legs out. Shake them out if you need to. Just between every posture, and if you've watched my classes a lot, you know, you've heard this a million times, but sometimes there's people who haven't done this class before who watch. We always have this period of rest between each of the postures. And this is a very critical period of rest. It's when our bodies allow everything to come back out of the stretch. So when we go into the stretch, we're stretching some specific muscle groups or tendons or fascia. And once we come out of it, everything has to come back, it has to contract back into place. The good news is that it never goes back as tight as it got stretched out. Once it's stretched, it comes back. It's always just a little bit looser. So accumulating over time, and especially if you do 3 classes of Yin this week, you're going to feel a big movement of your flexibility. Yin Yoga is a beautiful complement to the regular yoga practice because it accelerates the flexibility process. So if you practice Yin in tandem with a regular yoga practice, you'll find that your tight joints will loosen up a lot quicker. So speaking of tight joints, we're going to move now to the hips. So we're going to come into the half butterfly. And that is simply, we have one of our legs extended. You can start with the right or the left, whatever feels better for you. And the other one, we're going to bring it in toward the body in a bent position. So you can use your blocks, you can use your bolster, you can use your blankets if you feel your knee out here needs support. If you can bring your heel in past your knee, I think it's time for you to let that leg relax out and not baby it, not unless you're feeling pain. If you feel a sharp pain when your leg starts to drop out, you can shove some blankets under there to help it out. But if you're way out here, you probably would need to have a little bit of support out here. So bring your foot in as close to your groin area as you can. The other leg is extended out. And this is a hamstring stretch as much as it is a back stretch. So one of the ways you can increase the hamstring stretch if you're not feeling much, or after a period of time you are not feeling anything, maybe it's tight at first and then it starts to relax, you can point your toe and flatten your foot out so that you can yank a little bit more on the hamstrings in the back and the Achilles tendon and stretch those out as well. In the beginning though, just start out gently. We never force the beginning of our Yin practice. We just go into the stretch and then we let the body take us the rest of the way. So we're going to come down and we're going to try to place our chest and our belly onto our thigh. We're not worrying about getting our head anywhere. The head can relax down once you're down. Take a deep breath in, and if you like, you can stretch up through the rib cage just to make some space here. And on your exhale, focus on pushing your belly down. By doing this, you're focusing on turning the joint in the hip. Come to the place where your body wants to stop. Maybe you're starting to feel your hamstrings talk to you a little bit. And then we're just going to take a deep breath in here. Exhaling through the mouth. See if, see if you relax down just a little more. Another inhale, exhale. See if you relax down a little more. And this is probably where you're going to just wait for a while before you try to push things any deeper. Relax here. You can let your head drop down, your chin into your chest. And just focus on your breath, breathing in and out. Remember, whenever you feel the urge, take those deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth and moan and groan it out. Take another deep breath in. Let it go. Notice if your body is getting comfortable and how you can get it back into that stretch. Pointing your foot upright more, pushing your belly down tighter toward your leg. Maybe removing some of the support padding you have around you. Using your hands, you're going to push yourself upright. Don't let your back do the work. Push yourself up. And you can arrange your legs in a very loose, bent position just so everything can relax and come back. And I'm just going to say good morning to Jillian. And did I say good morning to you, Liz? I think I did. Jillian says it's very changeable weather in Gloucester. Yeah, it's kind of been like that here too. And Valerie, good morning, Valerie. She's in sunny Virginia. And Jerry's with us. She's in North Carolina. And Janet Tolley, she is in the UK, in England. And Susan is in Texas. And Patricia, who's very sorry she was late, and that's quite all right, Patricia. She is watching us from Spain. Thanks for checking in. And those of you that are late coming in, my chat on the computer is not working again. I'm going to have to find out why that's happening. And so I'm looking at you through my phone, but that's okay today because I need the phone for the timer anyway. So let's switch sides. We're going to work on the other side now, the half butterfly. So don't be surprised if the other leg is either easier or harder to do. It's quite natural that your different sides of your body, especially your hips, can be quite different from each other depending on how you were formed in the beginning and how much damage you've done to yourself over the years. So once again, the leg is extended out, the other one is bent and pulled in closer toward the body. And if you don't quite make it to the ground and you're up in this position where I am, please just let your leg hang out there and let the stretch happen. If you are a little bit farther down your leg, just like before, use support if you need it. Let's take a deep breath in, straighten up through the rib cage. And on the exhale, drop your chest down. Notice what you're feeling. Perhaps you're feeling where you had stretched your back on the other side. You didn't quite notice that before. Let's take another deep breath in, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Let yourself sag down a bit deeper. One more, inhale, side out. Let yourself relax down just a little more. And breathe deeply. Let your chin relax down if you like. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Take another deep breath in. Let it go through the mouth. Remember, if you're feeling too comfortable, see if you can get back into that stretch by changing position of your feet, taking away some of your support. Come up very slowly. Use your hands to push you up. Stretch your legs out. Bring them into a soft bend. Give your knees a little break. It's very critical to remember in Yin that we don't force anything. Instead, we allow the body to relax deeper and to stretch further. We don't try to get to where we want to go right off the bat. So keep that in mind, especially when we go into the next particular stretch that we're going to do. So we're going to do fire logs. Fire logs is a bit of a challenge, but we've stretched out our hips a bit, so we should be just a little bit more ready for it. And it's similar to easy pose. So you're going to have to find where you can bring let's start with your left leg, bringing your left leg in close to the body. So bring that leg in as close as you can so that at the very closest, it's parallel to the front of your mat. So we're not going to bring it in as close as we would if we were doing a butterfly. We're going to have it out a little bit further so that your leg is kind of in this position. Now, again, you can shove things under here if this is feeling a little bit too hard on your hips. And then we're going to take the other leg and we're going to grab it and we're going to place the foot just below the knee. We're not going to put any weight onto our knee. And we're going to rearrange ourselves. So flatten out your feet so that our legs kind of collapse down onto each other. This is called fire logs. So you might look like this. You might have to have your bolster shoved under here and your block under here or your pillows under here and you're way up in the air, but it's not comfortable and you can feel your hips stretching. That's fine. As you become more flexible, things will flatten out a bit more until you are looking a lot more like I am. Now, I didn't get this way day one. Absolutely not. Probably not even day 301. But it took probably it took me a year or two to get myself in a position where I could actually collapse my legs down. And then I had to start doing one of these. So if you are in the position and you look like me, this is when you start to collapse yourself down toward your legs, bringing your belly down toward the floor. So we're going to start here, and I'm going to have you hold this for 2 minutes because I know this one is a tough one. So let's take a deep breath in and exhale. And no matter where you are in this position, you should be feeling something happening. You should be feeling some tension in your hip joints. So if you're not feeling it, you need to rearrange yourself until it starts to happen. So for me, I have to be down to about here before I feel the tension building in my hip joints. But for you, it might even be that this feels like way more than you can handle, but hang in there as long as you can. Take a deep breath in, inhaling through the nose, and let it go through the mouth. Take another deep breath in and let it go. Push into your hands, come up very slowly. If you're leaned over like I am, if you're not, you're just going to help your legs unravel and stretch out. Stretch them out, lean back, and you can just rock your legs side to side. Shake them out if they feel tight. And then we're going to switch. So now, whatever leg you had on the top before is going to be the bottom leg, and whatever leg was on the bottom before is going to be the top leg, and expect it to be a different experience. So I'm going to bring my right leg in now, and I'm going to bring my left leg to the top. So for me, this direction is very, very easy. The other one, I felt it a lot more, even in this particular position right here. So you might be feeling more, you might be feeling less stretch. And so then you're going to have to adjust everything in order to get that stretch happening. And even if you're way up here, you might find, well, I think I could take away this and let this collapse down, or maybe I don't need as much padding here as I did the last time, or maybe I need more. It's up to you. So we're in the position. 2 minutes, take a deep breath in, and on your exhale, through the mouth, relax into this position. Now you notice I'm bringing my hands behind my back. This is to help intensify my stretch. I'm grabbing my forearms and I'm allowing the weight on my back, my chest to bring me deeper into the stretch. But please don't try this unless you're anywhere close to the position that you see me in right now with my legs. Take a deep breath in, exhaling through the mouth. Let's take one more deep inhale. Let it go through the mouth. Moan it out. And then we're gently going to put our hands down and push yourself upright if you're over like I was. And if you're just stacked, you're going to unwind your legs very gently and slowly, stretching them out. Lean back on your hands, and we'll just rock the joints side to side. Shake them out if you want. So I don't know if you realize, but I've got socks on. That's because in Yin, we're not doing any kind of balancing or needing to support our weight on the floor. So having the socks on is always a good idea. And also too, I've got my pants on, sweatshirt on, to keep me a little bit warmer. Because with Yin, we're not moving around, we're not generating any particular amount of heat. So unless you're in a really, really hot room, which I recommend highly for Yin, and if you can't artificially heat up the room, then wearing warm clothing helps to keep the muscles warm. And by warming up the muscles, we can stretch further, including our feet. Our feet, they get cold. The rest of us sometimes feels cold. The last posture we're going to go into is the cobbler pose. And we're going to bring our feet together and try to bring our heels in as close as we can, but leaving this much space between groin and heels. So place your hand down there, bring your heels as close as you can, no closer than your handprint down on the floor. If you like, you could try to open your feet up, the soles facing up toward the ceiling more, like a book. This just helps to rotate the hip joint just a little deeper. But if being here and you're up like this is feeling like enough for you today, do what you need to do to support yourself, but don't overboard it. You want to still be able to feel the stretch happening. We're going to go for 4 minutes in this posture. So let's take a deep breath in, stretching up through the rib cage. And on your exhale, push your belly down, not your head. Let your belly drop down between your thighs. Let your chest come down toward the floor. Keep your head up, keep your head up. When you hit the place where you can start to feel the stretch intensify, that's where we're going to stop. If you can open the feet up. And now, if you like, without changing what's happening between bringing your belly down toward the floor, you can let your chin drop to your chest. Let's take a deep breath in, inhaling through the nose, exhale through the mouth. See if you can relax down more. Let's do that again. Inhale through the nose, sigh it out. See if you can drop down just a little more. Relax, let go here. Let's take another deep breath in through the nose, and let it go through the mouth. One more deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. See if you can sink down just a little deeper for the last few seconds. Use your hands, Push yourself back upright. Stretch your legs out. It's a very intense hip stretch, the cobbler pose. So let's lean back on our hands and just gently windshield wiper our feet side to side, just to relax those hip joints up. And good morning, Gina. You're late, but that's okay. I'm glad you're finally joining us for a live class. Joyce had to leave early. She had a doctor's appointment. So anytime you ever have to leave early for some appointment or something happens, just make sure before you go, you take a few minutes of Shavasana. It's very critical that we have those couple of minutes to just let the body absorb the energy that we've expanded and the energy to balance itself back out again from the practice. So speaking of Shavasana, I'd like you to lay back onto your mats, get yourself very comfortable, stretch out, take up lots of space, get your blanket, cover you up, put your pillow under your head, take a drink if you have it before you lay down, and get comfy for Shavasana. In Shavasana for Yin, we like to do what's called star pose, wide legs, wide arms, spreading your body out, distributing the weight. But whatever you're doing, make sure you give yourself those few minutes to just let everything rest. I'm just going to have a sip of my tea. I'm going to join you for a few moments in Shavasana. Take up lots of space. Let your body melt down. If you have a bolster or you have another big pillow, another lovely way to experience Shavasana is to drape your legs across, especially because we've been doing a lot of back exercise stretches. This will help your back to sort of decompress, flatten out a bit more. Might be uncomfortable for a few breaths. For some people, it really helps their low back to have the knees bent in Shavasana. So let everything melt. Take those deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let yourself melt. Let your body relax. Let your jaw relax. Let yourself float away. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, waking your body back up again. And give yourself a lovely stretch. Stretch your body out. And then bring your knees up to your chest and give yourself a big hug. And take a moment to thank the body. Thank it for everything it did for you today. And then roll over to one side, doesn't matter whichever side feels the most comfortable for you to go to. Take a few more breaths here before you get up. Just enjoy what you're feeling and how you're feeling. And then make your way up to a seated position. Take your time. And we're going to close our class today. So let's close our class with a beautiful Om, just one Om. I like to take a breath in and out first and then take the inhale for Om. So let's inhale, exhale, inhaling for Om. Rub your hands together. Generate some energy, some prana. And as you do this, think of the places we stretched. We stretched our back today. We stretched our hips today. Put your hands over your closed eyes, and when you open them, breathe in and send that energy right down into your back and hips. And on your exhale, palms to ceiling, sending your energy out to the universe, but scoop up a little bit, taking it back to your heart center. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. Okay, so if you would like to chat a little bit, this is so different from Zoom. Zoom, I can sit and talk and I can see you guys and it's a conversation happening. But here, I'm going to have to, whoops, what happened there? Back, don't want that. Touch something. I'm going to have to talk to you through the method of chatting. So if you would like to say anything before we close out the class for the day, this is the time you can ask questions. You can say comments about what you thought about the postures we did and how they affected you. And don't forget before you leave to say that you liked the class. Thank you very much if you did, that is. And we'll take it from there. So anybody have any questions? I'm just dragging my tea a little bit closer. Hello. And don't forget, if you liked Zoom, if you like Yin, we have 2 more Yin classes this week. Both of them are on Zoom. One is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. And you can access the link on my website, northernzenyoga.com. And the other one is on Zoom on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. You're welcome, Suzanne. Suzanne said thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. Oh, she liked the class. She says it's awesome. Well, you guys can probably, maybe you can't read the chatting if you're on your TV screen, but thank you, Suzanne. Anyone else? How about Gina? Gina joined us for the first time live. How did you like your live experience? Yin is not the most exciting practice to join for a live class because of the long periods of time we hold the postures, but nevertheless, it's great for the body. Alyssa says that she loves Yin, and Suzanne says it's her favorite. It's her favorite class. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Anybody else got anything they'd like to say before I close out? I know there's a kind of a time delay between the time you send a chat and I actually get it, especially on the phone. Susan Edwards says, thank you. She feels much better now than she did before the class. And in all truth, so do I, because I was feeling pretty stiff this morning. I've been doing a lot of hiking walks, and for a couple of miles at a time. And it's very rough terrain, and I have to like do a lot of jumping stones and jump up and climbing down. And today my hips are feeling kind of tight, so this really has helped me. I feel much better. Anything else? Thanks, Susan, for mentioning that it helped you feel better today. You're welcome, Valerie. Valerie said it's just what she needed. Well, today I was hoping to get out for another hike today, but it looks like it's going to be a miserable rainy day, so I'm hoping maybe it'll clear up later. I want to get as much walking in before the black fly season starts, which is probably in a week or two. Janet says that yesterday she joined the Zoom class, and we did a lot of squats yesterday. And she's saying that after all the squats yesterday, today the yin was good. She went for a 12-mile walk. You did that? Oh yeah, that's right, because I was thinking already so early. But England is about 6 hours ahead of us. So there in England right now, it's more like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So 12 miles, wow, that's a big walk. But I know Janet tells me she practices her walking on the treadmill to do some long distance walking. Well, that's kind of what I'm working toward myself. So you're inspiring me, Janet, is I'd like to do some long distance hiking, but I'm doing it a few miles at a time just to get my body used to the idea. And the uneven terrain is always a little bit tricky because, you know, you're jarred back and forth into your hip sockets. So thank you, and keep it up. Good job. Wynn says she had to sign in late, but she liked the practice. Her hips feel great. When you haven't joined us, I don't think yet, have you, for a Zoom class. So if you're enjoying the yin, you should join us for some more yin. Tomorrow it's at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So that, I think, would be for you around 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I can't remember now where you are. If you're what are you saying? Are you in Winnipeg or are you in Alberta? So maybe you're only about an hour difference. Anyway, what time is it? I think I'm going to go because it's 20 after 11 and it's time for me to go make my breakfast and have something to eat for the day. And thank you so much for joining me in this live class. And please, if you can, please try to join the Zoom classes. It's a lot of fun because we do have a more personalized experience. And the other thing too is I can play some music. I forgot yesterday to turn it on, but we can play music because it's more private. It's not something I have to worry about with YouTube. I can't play music unless I paid for the royalties to the artist, or I have to use their music, and it's not that great. I've checked it. So if you can, try joining some of the Zoom classes. In May, it's free for the whole month. After that, there will be a membership fee to get the extra classes through Zoom. A lot of you have already done that, and thank you very much for that, for joining the membership. So check it out, see if it's something that you would like. And we'll have a lot more yoga each week. There's at least 4 classes a week on top of the YouTube class. So come and join me. Bye for now, everyone. Have a great, fantastic day. Love you all. Mwah. Take care. Bye-bye. Turn off. Oops.